we went into it feeling like we'd been playing better and better and having some momentum, a ton of momentum from our last few weeks, and feeling really confident. And we started the match a little bit off, and there were some kind of goofy things that happened in our warm-up. We had a bloody nose at the last second, and there was some ref call delays that the set just had kind of a funky flow to it. But once we settled in, I feel like we just kept battling and chipping away, and things started to feel like they were going more and more our way. So the momentum shifted, and then that third set felt really smooth. And then, yeah, it was just kind of a gut check in the fifth set, just getting to the end, fighting off 2 match points, having 2 match points of our own. I mean, it was thrilling volleyball, and it wasn't air on either side. It was just really great finishing of plays on both sides, and we came away with it. So we celebrated hard, and that felt really, really good. That was a big just stepping stone for us in our program, a big threshold moment for us to get a win there. I have not seen our program do that. Obviously, I was young when that happened last, but alive. But yeah, it was a thrill, and I'm really proud of how they fought and battled, and just got it done.
You made the joke that you were alive, but a lot of your players, all of your players weren't alive.
Yeah, that's why I made that weird joke, but I was the only one alive, so yes, thank you.
Yeah, but what does it mean kind of to not just you and the players, but the program as a whole, that you guys went in there and got that done? What does it mean for everybody let me try and rephrase that. What does it mean for your guys' confidence moving forward?
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. I think it set the tone, and I guess reinforced the tone, because I think we've been setting that tone this second half of conference, and the win at Montana State also was a big moment for us to feel like we can beat anybody in the conference. And I think we've had flashes of that before, way back to NAU in the beginning of conference. But to do it coming from 2 sets down, to just sort of grind through and have that belief when your back's against the wall and you're down in an opponent's gym where no one in the Big Sky had won there yet this year, was a really big just check of our belief, and a moment where it really reinforced that if we're willing to push through, that we can have success and we can physically finish matches against anybody. So it was great, and it was it felt like a turning point, or not a turning point, I guess, but just a good benchmark for where our program is in our evolution to become a winning program in the conference. So I'm really proud of them, and they did that, and they kind of, I don't know, like Missy here, put the program on her back in those moments and got it done, which is really cool to see.
What is something that you've kind of emphasized as you guys are kind of now coming down the stretch and playoffs are looming? What is something you keep emphasizing to your team right now?
Right now, it's, I think, what I can do a better job of, but also I'm trying to emphasize consistently, is that we need to not worry so much about tournament. Are we in? Are we out? What do we have to do? Who do we have to beat? What results do we need? Who needs to win or not? We did this a little bit last year, where we kind of went into the last phase of conference and we needed one more win to punch our ticket, and it just takes your sights off of what you're currently doing in the moment. And it's so hard to win a match and focus on a match when the only thing you're concerned about, or the bigger picture focus, is we have to win to get to the tournament. That's just unneeded pressure. Those realities are what they are, regardless of, like, we go into every match wanting to play our best. And so I think I want us to be relaxed and go into every match that way, versus what does this mean? What do we need to do in order to get here? Let those results happen by us playing our best in the moment, showing up every match to do that. So I thought that caught up with us a little bit at Eastern, and I didn't do a great job of keeping our focus just on that day. And so, yeah, I want to get back to that this weekend, and I think the results come when you're able to do that.
Along those same lines, the mindset this second half of conference play compared to the first. When your team's entering the arena, how much more confidence do you guys have? And just can you compare, maybe as you guys evolve throughout the course of the season, how different the second half's been since the first half?
Yeah, we've had sort of 3 very distinct phases. We had our first phase with a really tough preseason schedule, with a different lineup, and not getting really a ton of close results at all to our opponent, and then feeling like, okay, we're getting close, we're taking sets, we're pushing teams, we're getting a little bit of results, and then head into the turn of the halfway point, and just all of a sudden, boom, it's like we're doing things and making noise, which is so cool. And I think just the larger confidence in knowing that if you trust, the cliche, here we go, I'm gonna say it, right? If you trust the process, like, it loves you back and it gives back to you. You just don't know when. And so you just have to trust that breakthrough comes. There's no other way to do it. And so, I don't know, they've done a great job of doing that, being in their process and trusting that it's gonna happen. And I think players like Missy, who have decided to find new levels to their game as a senior with however many matches left in conference, and just say, do I have another level to my game? That's incredible. That's an incredible legacy. That's an incredible statement and incredible leadership down the stretch. And I think those decisions kind of put you over that little hump to get the wins.
You talked about you wanted to go into every game relaxed, and before the Idaho game, you said a couple of mishaps, a bloody nose here, a ref issue there.
Yeah.
Is that something that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit, that maybe you guys are, not, it takes your mind off of winning and more so what's going on?
A little bit. There was a little worry lineup-wise with the bloody nose, just because it was one of our hitters, but she was fine. She came back. But yeah, I think in those moments where something a little bit different happens and you're able to sort of look at everybody in the eye and just laugh a little bit and just say, all right, let's just refocus on this point, this next point, and take control of what we have control over. I think that stuff always helps. There were moments like that in our Eastern match too, where we just said, okay, breathe for a second, keep coming together, know that we can set our own tone and our own feel in this game, and then keep going from there. So yeah, I think that is helpful. You have to make it helpful.
Missy, what do you guys need to do to win against Northern Arizona, and what does Northern Arizona bring to the table, I guess?
I think we just gotta play our game, and everybody just has to give their all. Like, I know each and every one of our players, like, I know what their potential is, and I know, like, how they are playing, like, where they're at their best, and I think it's going to take all of us to be at our best, and I think Northern Arizona is definitely one of the higher seeded teams, I guess, and I think we just got to own our gym and not let them come in and take over.
What's the feeling like in the locker room right now? Are you guys feeling confident, or starting to gain that confidence going on?
I think we are gaining confidence. I think the loss against Eastern was kind of hurt a lot, but I think our win against Idaho was just bigger than that, and we still have time these next 2 weeks to still make our mark, and I think we're still really confident in going into these.
You've been so versatile this year. Talk a bit about how you've kind of moved positions a couple times and how you've kind of adjusted to that.
I just kind of, whatever role that they need me in as a player, like, I want to fill that and I want to be that person. So it's been actually a lot of fun, and it's kind of brought back a lot of memories from when I did play the position. So I don't know, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see if I can even improve in the next 2 weeks or more, hopefully.
What's the hardest part about doing that, about like playing different positions?
Just kind of, I feel like when I play this new position as middle, that I just need to be more focused in the blocking aspect, because you literally have to block everybody, and compared to the right side where you only block half the balls, I guess. But I feel like it's been kind of the same, and
Your coach has said that you've taken your game to a different level, obviously, the last couple of weeks. What's that mean to hear her say that about you, and what's this process been like of emerging as a leader and a key part of this team?
yeah, I obviously love it. And I do feel like I've worked really hard to just keep going, and like I kind of came into my senior year thinking, like, what else could I bring to this team? Like, what else could I do that I haven't done in the last 3 years? And I think, like, I've really pushed myself out of my comfort zone, especially, and just stepped into a new role.
Coach, give us the kind of the preview this weekend of both your opponents. The trip down there was a couple near misses, I guess you could say. So from your team now, obviously in a different spot, just kind of give us a preview of the 2 matches this weekend.
Yeah, I think really good matchups between us and both teams. NAU got a player back key player. She'd been getting over 3 kills a set prior to her injury, and with her being back, it's kind of that puzzle piece that makes them function at a really high level. So they're feeling good. They're feeling more like themselves, and I think they're going to be tough. They're always tough no matter what. They run a high tempo offense with the best middle in the conference, in my opinion, in terms of her numbers. She's really difficult to stop, really offensive and just really composed, and so they rally around her a ton in her offense, and so we'll need to slow her down, which we've contained her well in previous matches this year and last year in certain moments, so we need to focus on that and then game plan from there. But I think Southern Utah as well is physical. They're big. They attack high. They're pin hitters. Their left sides are really offensive, and so when they kind of get going, it can be difficult to stop them. And so they're a really good serving team as well. And when we've gone into matches, Eastern served really well and dug really well against us and just frustrated us because we weren't scoring in the same ways and weren't passing in the same ways that we had been the last couple of weeks. And so we need to be resilient passing, and we need to expect like really big physical volleyball where they're getting a lot of kills and blocks, and then we just have to answer with our own. So it'll be fun. It's really fun, and we're in that phase of the season where it's kind of do or die. So that's where you want to be, under pressure at the end and having to come through, and they're ready for it. We're ready.
You've talked a lot about your seniors throughout the course of the year, but final 2 home matches, you honor them this weekend. Just maybe a general statement on what they've meant, especially is that they've really just carried the team on their back here through the stretch run.
Yeah, I was worried I was going to have to talk about that because it's hard. It's hard for me to do so. So, yeah, I think what this group has done is really, really special, and a lot of it is very visible in terms of a player like Missy's statistics and the impact that they have on an actual match, and some of it is not visible to the outside because it's things that as coaches we see every day. It's a feel to what we do. It's our professionalism. It's how we carry ourselves. It's just, they've just sort of taken us from one path and put us on a completely new path. So I think it's just been amazing to do that with them. And I could not have done this without them. So I do not want to say goodbye, and I'm going to fight for more time, as much time as we can get. So thanks for that question. No, I love it. It's just I can't say enough how much they've meant to me in this place. So.
Missy, what's it going to feel like playing your final 2 games at your Dahlberg?
It's going to be pretty emotional, I think. I have a lot of my family coming, and it's insane to think about. Even like had some free time over the weekend, just thinking about it just already made me emotional, so I'll probably be a wreck on Saturday. But I think it's fun, and I feel like it's just going to give the team like just the extra drive, and I'm excited.
What has been your best memory from being here in Missoula?
Beating the Cats at Montana State.
You could tell the girl who walked onto campus the first day something about the next 4 years that were ahead of her. What would you do? What would you tell her?
It's going to go by really fast. It's crazy how fast it goes.